Hello, everybody. It's Alex Shevchenko here. As always, on Fridays at this time, you're able to see our live stream to the YouTube that is called Friday Alpha League Session. And during this stream, we are sharing the info and the news from the ecosystem with all of you. And big thanks for joining today and tuning in into our updates. So this week we are going to start with a short but insightful, hopefully insightful interview that I was given to the near marketing team about Aurora and about different things that we are doing in the near protocol. So check it out. This is a very simple and very short information that you are able to get about Aurora and about different additional things and how Aurora is working with the boss. Now, moving on to the next piece. As always, already, we have now a tradition to post an update from the partner program. So you are able every Friday to find information about the partners who have been launching their applications on Aurora and different additional applications inside of the partner program, and how people are executing through this. So in case you really like these updates, you can go and follow these updates directly in Twitter. We are happy to see that different applications from Aurora ecosystem started to integrate with Aurora Pass, especially because it is pretty simple and straightforward, just because it is a Wallet Connect version 2 compatible, which means that for many people, implementation or integration with Aurora Pass is actually the integration of Wallet Connect version 2, and there are tons of other wallets that do support this interface of connection. So as you can see here, OpenBC, MotoDex, some games and Origami, they are actually now working with Aurora Pass, and down the road we're going to see more and more applications working with this wallet. Great to see this thing, and thanks the ecosystem for integration with the wallet. By the way, in case you have not yet checked out how Aurora Pass works, I think it is pretty magic. I really like when I personally use it, and for example, right now a typical flow for me is to go to Aurora Pass wallet, showcase it to others, send a little bit of Aurora tokens so people can play with it, and also use it for the applications that I currently use, and Origami, Solaris, and 2048 sometimes is, from my point of view, are the good ones that you can try already right away with Aurora Pass. Moving on to the news, the whole bunch of new applications from Aurora ecosystem were listed on DappRadar, and thanks everybody, thanks to these apps for going to DappRadar and submitting their applications there. So that's super nice. The visibility on DappRadar brings the visibility of different applications that are working in general in the blockchain industry, and DappRadar brings nice and straightforward discovery mechanism for these applications. So in case you're a dApp developer and your dApp is deployed on Aurora, please make sure that that you submitted all the information on DappRadar. This is done in a permissionless way. You don't need to be blessed, but you just need to submit information in the proper form, and then DappRadar is going to get all of the stats from your application directly, just because DappRadar supports Aurora Network. Following for the third consecutive week, we're trying to communicate as clear as possible the partnerships with Audit One, and this week we actually created an article in the blog about this integration. So this article shares a little bit more about this particular partnership, just because Audit One is one of the first companies in the auditing space in blockchain that is moving forward with the insurance integration. A thing that has been discussed for some period of time, for a couple of years already, but it's really nice to see that somebody is taking the lead in this particular area. As a consumer of auditing services, as a big consumer of auditing services, we're really thrilled to see this innovation happening, and we would like to endorse Audit One with everything that they are doing. We do believe that this is a proper direction of the development, and we are pretty happy that we can partner with such a company. For everybody who has been asking these questions, there were not a lot of these questions, but a couple of times people were coming to me and asking it. So starting now, Fast Bridge protocol. This is an additional update to the Rainbow Bridge. So everything regarding the Fast Bridge is open source at the moment. It is open sourced with the GPL license, and you are able to see all of the different things that are showing how the Fast Rainbow Bridge works. In case you would like to hear the explanation of this particular image, or just to have a human that is going to explain you how the Fast Rainbow Bridge is working, please check out the talk by Kirill on SCC that was just a month ago. There is a nice explanation there. I was tweeting about it, so check it out. But for all of the developers who are curious how these things are working, go check it out. There is quite a lot of information here. The code is open source. The code is actually audited, right? So we are pretty sure that it is in a pretty good condition. XP Network, pretty famous and pretty big NFT bridge, collaborated with Aurora to launch an Aurora Adventure campaign within the Galaxy campaign. So for everybody who are keen on exploring how to bridge their NFTs, you're free to do this and try out XP Network. Mason Finance has launched the ETH bridging across a set of the protocols that are focused on scaling of Ethereum. So as you can see here, Linea and Polygon ZKVM and ZK Sync, these are the rollups that are focused. This is ZK rollups, Arbitrum and Optimism, the rollups that are optimistic, and Aurora, a solution that allows you to, like an L2 stack, allows you to launch multiple Auroras through Aurora Cloud, and interoperability of these solutions. So all of these three categories of projects that are working towards the same goal but choosing a little bit different paths. So Mason allows to bridge ETH across all of these chains. So pretty cool to see this development happening here. And in case you have been waiting just a little bit too much in order to transfer your ETH from Arbitrum to Aurora, for example, just because the withdrawal from Arbitrum takes quite a lot of time, now you can try out Mason and see how fast it works. Super cool. B4B World, a platform for the advertisers who are willing, for people who are willing to use advertisements from the influencers, are starting their program. They have been already going going forward with this program, but now there is a new kind of new iteration of it. Now the program is called Credit Program, and everybody are able to apply to this program, get free 200 credits, and you're able to pick your influencers and launch your advertisement campaign. So super cool development. Again, check out B4B World. This is how the decentralized advertisements with influencers may look like in future. And as we already touched base this with XP Network, Galaxy campaign comes to its kind of final straight, I would say, and it is only 2 weeks of the Galaxy campaign left. So go check out it in case you have not tried it yet. There are some juicy rewards there. And last but not least, we are encouraging the all Aurora community to go and check out the meme contest with NDC governance elections. I'm pretty sure that that lots of funny people in our community can create some very precise and funny memes about the elections to NDC. With that, I'm stopping sharing my screen, and let me please figure out what are the questions and the different comments that are there. And in case, yeah, unfortunately, I don't see many. But in case you are willing to ask questions, you're free to do this right here, right now, which is good. And let's wait for a minute and see whether we have any questions. Okay, Martin asks the question, when a boss app calls a contract, does it cause fees on other chains? Oh, that's a good question. Thanks, Martin. So Boss itself is a solution at the moment that stores the front end of an application on top of the Near blockchain. And it allows you to use some stack of the Next.js in order to use it and deploy it and being rendered in browsers, right? Now, depending on the backend that this front end is talking to, the actual transaction execution is going to happen on different chains. So, for example, in case you are willing to trigger a transaction on Boss with the Boss's front end of 3 Solaris, then this transaction, then once you're going to click on, for example, doing a swap, then the MetaMask or your wallet is going to pop up and would require to sign you the transaction with the chain ID of Aurora, because 3 Solaris is deployed on Aurora. And in such a case, you're going to send the transaction to Aurora, and the fees are going to be collected by the Aurora protocol absolutely the same way how they usually collected, even in case you're using a straightforward 3 Solaris frontend. But in case you're using QuickSwap, which is the Polygon protocol, absolutely the same logic is going to apply. So your wallet is going to be triggered, and the transaction that is going to be signed will contain the chain ID of Polygon, and this transaction will be sent to the RPC, to the Polygon RPC, and in such a case, the transaction is going to be executed on Polygon blockchain. So the fees are going to be collected respectively from the Polygon. I hope this is straightforward. This is how things are working with Boss. And Steve is asking an additional question. Alex, do you think as more bridge protocols start to connect to Aurora, in addition to the Rainbow Bridge, is there a potential security issue for Aurora? The more bridges, the more hack probability. In general, yes, you are right. The more protocols are in general connected, the more surface of an attack. The question is obviously in what is the exposure of this attack, right? I can deploy an ERC20 token in 10 minutes in Aurora. But then, since I'm going to be the only user and there will be no pools connected with this token, and other things, it is going to be extremely like even if the ERC20 token is faulty and can be hacked, then the exposure in terms of the dollars that are going to be lost is going to be extremely small, just because these tokens they worth nothing. If we're talking about the bridges and the potential bridge hacks, the question is what the type of the hack can happen. In case this particular bridge creates its own bridge tokens, then the potential hack of the bridge influences all of the liquidity in the pools that are using these tokens. So imagine that there is a specific whatever, I don't know, Seller is one of the bridges that is connected with Aurora. So Seller, with Seller tokens, Seller USDT, and there are some pools in between Seller USDT and Rainbow Bridge USDT, right? So then in such a case, the liquidity from these pools can be withdrawn, right? I'm talking about extremely critical bugs during which you are able to say that you have infinite amount of tokens of the bridge. So people who are providing liquidity in such liquidity pools, they are at risk. It doesn't mean that Rainbow Bridge bridged USDT is at risk, right? These tokens itself, they do belong to the Rainbow Bridge and the security model of the Rainbow Bridge. So unless Rainbow Bridge is hacked, nothing is going to happen with these tokens. So yes, the more bridges we have, the more hacks are possible. However, the exposure to these hacks is not that big, right? The harm from these hacks is not that big. And it is super important to understand for people who are providing liquidity what type of the risks that they have, right? So I don't think that it's a major issue, and take into account that Rainbow Bridge is extremely secure and has proven to be secure with almost zero downtime within the last 2.5 years. I'm pretty sure that in case you're using Rainbow Bridge, at least this portion of the liquidity that is available on the Aurora protocol is pretty safe. And Martin is doing a follow-up question. So in general, a boss interaction does not cost fees on Near if it interacts to other networks like Polygon, etc. Yeah, that's true. How can Near Aurora ecosystem profit from this then? That's an absolutely epic and great question. Please follow, like there is a concept of no, I'm not going to reveal it, sorry. So there is a new development that is happening right now for Near and Aurora protocol that is, funny enough, connected with bridges that can help to overcome this particular thing. Okay, I'm going to tell you just a little bit. So the idea is the following. There is this idea of the remote accounts, the accounts where using the bridge, the user has an account on other network, which holds assets for this user, and through the bridge, it is not the liquidity that is bridged, but rather the orders to execute some transactions on other networks. In such a case, then all of the transactions may be triggered on Near or Aurora, while then triggering a transaction on the Polygon chain in the example that we have been using before. So in such a case, the cool feature, this remote accounts or multi-chain accounts, what it brings is that it abstracts away the blockchain from the user, and it helps the user not to think about the crypto that he needs to store on all of the different wallets, on all of the different chains. So the user can use Near Aurora as just a single network to onboard to, and after this, he will be able to securely transact on any network where we have the bridge to. Okay, and super last question, because I need to run. Thanks for the answer, Alex, from Steve. The reason I asked, due to the recent multi-chain incident affecting Phantom, the Rainbow Bridge is undoubtedly the most secure bridge I've seen today. Yeah, Steve, indeed. Multi-chain incident is not very good. I feel for everybody who has been affected with this incident, and multi-chain is such a big player, and obviously we all felt this problem. Okay, Mark and Steve, thanks for tuning in. Hopefully you got answers to your questions. Please take a good rest during this weekend, and we are going to see each other again next Friday at the same time here on YouTube on the next Friday Alpha League session with Aurora. Thank you.